down on a habit and you can't seem to let it go. It used to be your escape, now it's out of control.
All right. That's our musical introduction by Matthew West. He's coming in concert at our church March 11th. It's a Wednesday night. We hope you all buy tickets and come out. He's one of the hottest, and according to my friends in the music industry, one of the most authentic Christian artists out there. This song is called Moment of Truth, and it's actually about marriage, which is our topic for today. So we, of course, started out with singleness, and now we're fast approaching the topic of marriage. But in between singleness and marriage, we have something called dating. And last week, on Sunday, we read from Genesis 24, the first 28 verses. So a lot of points that were brought out, and a very powerful testimony by Samantha and Ronald. What I'd like to do is just focus on 3 points in our Connect group regarding dating, and hope for plenty of good discussion and Bible reflection. The first is from Genesis 24, really from verses 2 through 10, the idea of parental involvement, not necessarily control. Abraham wants his son to get married to someone who's from his area, his region, his people. And I think it's because of the faith that he now has in, he does not want to integrate his son into a clan that is not of the same faith, that does not follow God and submitted to God, surrendered to God the way he understands. So he's going to be involved in this process. And what a great question for 21st century marriage. What role should parents play, grandparents play, extended family play in the dating process? Remember, I'm defining dating as a special relationship that can lead towards marriage. Whether it's dating or courtship as the model, it's not friendship. It's moving beyond friendship and saying, I'm interested in you, attracted to you, and want to consider a life together with you. So what role should parents and family play? How involved should they be in dating? Discuss. Talk amongst yourselves. The second is more specific to this area of faith, safeguarding the faith. So Abraham made clear, he said, I don't want my son to marry or intermarry into the land of Canaan. I want him to go back to my kindred. We see this in all throughout the Old Testament, that Hebrew people are supposed to stay clear of intermarriage with Canaanite peoples. Genesis 34 is going to tell of a story where Dinah is raped, or we don't know, all the details of that scenario, but the Canaanite men came and sexually interacted with her, and then the father of the Canaanite young man, prince, came and said, look, my son really, really, really loves your daughter. Can we just come together in marriage? Can we forge a relationship out of this bad situation? And Jacob was fairly willing, but he said, you must convert. You must become a follower of our God, and to do that, be circumcised. So in that pathway, which is what God obviously is setting as the ideal, we need to discuss what role does faith play. Of course, if you read the whole story of Dinah, the brothers got involved, and they slaughtered all the Canaanite guys after they were circumcised. And to be honest, Jacob was somewhat upset, because I don't know that he wholeheartedly believed in keeping the false idols and gods of Canaan away from his people. But God dealt with him in Genesis 35 on that. They relocated to Bethel, and they left behind all the foreign gods and idols that had come into their camp. It was a cleansing moment for him, and then he had a God moment at Bethel. It was renamed Israel. The New Testament upholds this. 2 Corinthians 6:14 clearly says, do not be unequally yoked. Do not join together as if we were two ox in a yoke, unless there's equal faith there, equal maturity, equal status as a child of God, born again, born of the Spirit. How easy is that? How hard is that? What are some things we can do to safeguard our faith and covenant of faith in marriage? Would you discuss safeguarding the faith one with another? And then lastly, we get a simple request from the servant of Abraham, who we think is Eliezer. He said, God, I just need you to show me which woman is to marry Isaac. I'd love for you to talk about what are the qualities that you want to see in a dating relationship. How do you know that you know? Now, this was a prayer said by the servant, so he involved God in the process. I love that, and I think we all should. And he was looking for one thing. Will this woman have a servant's heart and get down and water these camels? And he watched and waited to see, not just her words, but it was her deeds. And I know when my wife and I first met, and we were in friendship, we went out with a lot of different groups of people, and then when we really started to show interest and attraction to one another beyond that, it was my wife who actually invited me out to a symphony performance at Mechanics Hall in Worcester. So it was our quote-unquote first date, and I suit and tie, I pick her up, she looks great, very pretty, and we go out to the show, and then we go to Sole Proprietor on Highland Street for a bite to eat afterwards. I take her back to her apartment. She walks in and says to her roommate, I'm going to marry that guy. I don't know exactly what qualities she saw, but there was something there that she said, I know this is it. I know this is it. And I'll be honest, I felt the same way. So I'd love for you to discuss what are those particulars you're looking for. The integrity of a person, their servant's heart, their attitude, the body language, the actions. How do you know that the person you're dating is the one you're supposed to marry? And maybe even if you have to look at it on the other side, what are some things you want to look out for? Warning signs, blaring in your face. This is not the one. Go away. Don't do it. So I'd love for you to have that discussion and then pray one for another for discernment, God's great gift to his body of Christ to be upon us all, because choosing a spouse is one of the most discerning moments of our life. Pray it. If no one's in that situation in your Connect group, pray it for the First Assembly of God body. Pray it for our family and friends. Pray together for marriage and solid biblical dating that leads to healthy marriage. It's a little longer today, but it's a big topic, and it's one that the church should spend some time thinking about. Have a great discussion. God bless you. Go Pats.